Motivation Society, Hansraj College. I, Anushka, on behalf of Udaan, welcome you all to our event, Promotion of Mental Health and Well-being Among Young Adults. This event is an analysis done from our previous mental health survey with collaboration with AIMS Delhi. Udaan has conducted many events that made people aware about mental health and stigma surrounding it. Our society follow the motto हौसला है तो उड़ान भी होगी, which translates to if there is courage, then there will be flight. And we try to live up to it by spreading awareness, by doing regular offline events and online posts. Now, it is our honor to extend a token of appreciation to Dr. Sumit. I would request Rama ma'am and Vikas sir to kindly step forward. Our President Palak and our convener Vikas sir to step forward for token of appreciation. As we move forward towards the enlightening discussion, we are honored to have Dr. Sumit Malhotra, Professor at Center for Community Medicines at AIMS, Delhi. Dr. Sumit received a gold medal and Certificate of Excellence for securing highest marks in microbiology in MBBS, Bangalore Medical College. He is a spectacular professor and a gracious doctor, which makes him an inspiration for all of us to always aim for the sky. Now, I would like to invite Palak for welcoming the guest and set forth the event.
So, hi everyone, myself Udaan, and I welcome every one of you and especially Sumit sir and Aman ma'am who are here. बाकी सारे भी स्पीकर सेशंस होते रहते हैं कॉलेज में राइट बट दिस वन इज स्लाइटली डिफरेंट क्योंकि ये स्पीकर सेशन पहले आप में से कुछ लोगों ने इवेंट में पार्टिसिपेट किया होगा एक सर्वे में राइट सो ये कंप्लीट सेशन उस सर्वे के एनालिसिस के बेसिस पर ही है एंड जस्ट आपकी एग्जाम से पहले है सो आई रियली होप कि आपको हेल्प मिले आप चीज़ों को समझ पाओ एनालाइज कर पाओ एंड दे विल बी हेल्पफुल फॉर यू राइट सो थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you, Palak. At Udaan, we follow a tradition of starting our events with positive affirmations in order to keep a healthy and supportive environment for all. So, I will be dictating some positive affirmations and I will request everyone to repeat the same after me. I am calm and focused.
I am calm and focused.
I am determined.
I am determined.
I can overcome all the obstacles and accomplish my goals.
I can overcome all the obstacles and accomplish my goals.
These affirmations did make me feel a little better, and I'm sure it might have done the same for you. Mental health plays a very significant role in an individual's life. One's mental health at different stage of life often leads to different consequences. Young adult, that is the age of 18 to 22, is a very crucial age and can also be known as the time where one makes and takes major life decisions in order to make life more luxurious and comfortable. Hence, keeping your mind healthy at that age phase is very important. A very crucial portion of that age range is exams. Even saying the word exams gives me a feeling of nervousness. Many people in this age range are going through exam anxiety, which is very common and often experienced before, during, and even sometimes after the exams. I am sure many of you here, including me, might be going through the same. Now, I would like to invite our guest speaker, Dr. Sumit, who will guide us today and expound how to take care of your mental health in stressful conditions.
So very good afternoon, and thank you, everyone for this invitation and this opportunity of interacting with all of you. I think इसको हम थोड़ा सा informal बनाएंगे, ठीक है? And just to make you a little comfortable, if you can log in to this menti.com and there's a QR code, there is a number, whatever comes the way, but if you are able to reach there are some set of questions. So we'll walk through some set of questions, and then as we'll proceed, we'll talk more, right? So log into menti.com, or you can scan this QR code, get it on that page. If it asks for a code, the code is mentioned 25325590. So we'll just walk through some set of questions, okay? And those who require help, please feel free to ask for it. If you are not able to get there, so I'm waiting for everyone to reach to that page. And once everybody gives a signal that we have reached, then only I'll begin and I'll start it, okay? So everybody there, or still someone not yet there?
Yes, sir.
We can proceed?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Right, so what is mental health to you? Okay, just whatever comes to your mind. What is mental health to you? So there's a word cloud, it's forming a word cloud, and whatever you want to write. So being happy with myself, well-being of mind, peace, being happy, okay. Khatti toffee, okay. Result of performance, okay. Stay calm. Coping with stress, okay. Inner happiness. And we can write multiple, words also. That's allowed. Okay, enjoy the moment. Anxiety, depression, accepting the situation, working power of a mind. That's great. Okay. Key to being happy. Aham prasann kasmi, or prashann kasmi. What does that mean? ये संस्कृत में है मैं प्रसन्न हूँ. Is that so? Whosoever wrote kasmi, prasann kasmi. Okay. Right. Okay, good decisions. Has everybody answered? Yes? Okay, fine. So this is what mental health. So we are going to talk, in a couple of minutes for an hour or so about these aspects, right? That relates to happiness, contentment, peace, problem solving. Okay, right. So shall I move ahead? There are still answers coming. Internal health, how to love yourself. Okay, right, great. Right, so we move to next. So rank the following factors based on how challenging they are for your mental health, with the most challenging factor at the top. So career concerns, academic concerns, relationship problems, family dynamics, peer problems. Okay, can anyone tell me how many people will be there in this hall? Roughly an idea?
78.
70, 80. Okay, fine. So we have just got 20 responses so far. So we'll wait for a couple of more responses to come. So these are the common concerns, that we are confronted with, that affects our well-being, right? Okay, so career concerns, the topmost one. So shall I move? Yes, okay, thank you. So people with mental illness can never be productive or do normal work like normal people. Is it a myth or a fact? Just choose the answer. So now we are asking, in general, some kind of awareness things. I mean, what do you consider? Is it a myth or a fact? Okay, so large majority is saying that it's a fact. Okay, so we'll revisit this. I'm moving to the next. Mental health problems may occur to anybody irrespective of caste, education, or gender. Okay, so we move to the next. People attempt suicide to prove something or to get sympathy. Okay, I move to next. How confident are you in recognizing when a friend or yourself may require help for mental health? I think that's it. Thank you. Give a round of applause for yourself. So, how are you all feeling today? Good. Okay. Anything else? How are you feeling right now? In general, how is the day? Tense. Okay. Right. Good. Okay. Right. Any emotion? So, what are emotions? Okay. Let's begin from there. What are emotions? Feelings. Right. So, emotions are feelings. Okay. So, give me some examples of emotions. Sadness. Okay.
Anger,
Anger. Okay. Nervousness. Happy. Okay. Anything
curiosity,
else?
curiosity,
Curiosity. Okay. Any other emotion? Overwhelming. Okay. Any other emotion?
love,
Any positive, any negative emotion? Okay. Love. Okay. Okay. Boredom. Okay. Anything else? Excitement. Okay. Great. Right. So these are all emotions. Right. So we all have several of emotions. Sometimes positive, sometimes negative. Right. So emotions are very normal, and at different times, different phases, different days, we have different emotions. Right. So these emotions or feelings sometimes be very great. If they are very happy emotions, then it's fine. But if the negative emotions are more, and which could be anger, could be sadness, feeling low, nervous, okay, even for that matter, greed, jealousy, pride, ego. I mean, all of this, can be detrimental also in case they overpower us, right? So, mental health concerns about emotions, okay, our thoughts, our feelings. How do we think about and how we take any situation, right? So, everybody has a mental health, okay? So, everybody has to be concerned about mental health. Is that right? So it's not that people who are mentally ill only have to be bothering about mental health. All of us have to take care of mental health, right? So mental health is all about emotions and how do we take care of our emotions, right? Okay. So young people like you, okay, you all are young. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So young people have a lot of concerns that relate to their health and well-being. Okay? Within that, one of the important domain and concern is the mental health issues. Right? So when it comes to young age group, so you are in which bracket? 18 to 21?
yes, sir.
Is that so?
Yes, sir.
Yes, all of
Yes,
you
yes, sir.
belong to that age group, right? Okay, so yeah, so now you are adults, right? You have voting power. You have many other things to do. You can take independent decisions also, right? You are free to make choices as well. Okay, right. So mental health is one of the important areas that affects the young people, right? What we see is that many of the mental health problems have their origin in this age group, And if they are not being sorted properly, if they are not handled properly, it actually can lead to frank problems. When I say frank problems, really that will affect quality of life. Okay? So not everybody is going to be having frank problems. It's a continuum. Everybody has mental health, everybody has mind, okay, and mind affects the functions of life. Right? So how we think, how we behave, how we react, everything has a linkage to our behavior and our performance. Okay? Now, whatever behavior is linked and whatever functions that we have to perform as our age demands. So if it's a student life, your functions are as a student what function you would have. You will have to study, you will have to face exams, you will have to pass exams. You go from first year to second year to third year. So that's an important sphere of life, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. As a professional medical, doctor, I would function, for society. I have to see patients. If I'm a university teacher, I'm teaching. I have to teach my students, right? So that's my function. And if I'm not mentally well, this will affect my function. Okay. So what we have to understand is that the mental health and the function connect is that we have to restore our status in a way that our functions don't get affected. As long as our functions are okay, that's fine. So we need to keep that balance, that we keep functioning. Okay? Now, everybody witnessed COVID-19 here, yes or no? The pandemic, that's a kind of a lifetime experience. Huh? We didn't have that experience from a long time. So everybody was party to it. Yes? And you must be there in schools at that time. Yes or no? Yes. Schools got closed. Yes, and we were all doing online stuff. Yes. So was it a good phase? Was it a bad phase of our lives? Huh? Some things were good, some things were bad. It was a mixture. Right? But then we did miss our schools. Yes or no? Yes. We miss our friends, meetings, going outside home, lot of restrictions at home, you can't do this, you can't go outside, you can't mingle, jingle, whatever. Right? So a lot of restrictions. And it affected us in some or the other way. Our families also got affected in some or the other way. Right? So what we realized is that the mental health problems actually increased during that time. Okay? And we all have realized the importance of mental health. Okay? So mental health has to be given importance. We also realize that in youth or in young people, mental health issues actually came to limelight. Okay, so all those restrictions, being at home, not playing outside, not going for movies, not enjoying life, it affected us. Okay, it affected us in a way that we felt more stressed. Okay, our happiness quotient came down. Okay, so considering that, if anything suddenly comes in our life as an event and we have to face it, we have to be mentally strong. Right? So if anything untoward incident happens in our life, how we face that situation will be dependent on how strong our mental health is. If we are mentally weak, and if suddenly something happens to us or our surroundings, we shake, we panic, okay, we get out of the track, right? And sometimes these adversities or these challenges that our life throws can actually be major events. And if we don't return back to the patri, our life gets affected, right? So therefore, we need to take care of ourselves in a sense that if anything that happens, which is unexpected, catastrophic event, something not anticipated, we bounce back firmly. And for that reason, we have to be aware about mental well-being. Is that okay? So the message is that the mental health problems are increasing. We see a lot of issues, in young people, today's young people who face several of challenges that affect their lives and that also affect their function and the role that they are expected to perform in the society. Next, right? So what is mental health of an individual? So mental health is the ability to realize your own potential. Now everybody of you has many strengths. Each one of you has unique strengths, right? But you need to realize the potential of those strengths, and mentally strong would mean that you are able to realize those strengths. Okay? That means you are able to be productive and you realize all your potential to the maximum. You are able to cope up with the normal stresses of life. Okay? You work productively and fruitfully, and you also make contributions to the community. ठीक है? अच्छा, अब आप मुझे ये बताइए कि आपको कौन-कौन सी स्थितियों में स्ट्रेस होता है? स्ट्रेस सब समझते हैं? Everybody understands stress? Okay. तो अब कौन-कौन सी स्थितियों में हमें स्ट्रेस फील होता है? एग्जाम्स में होता है, ओके, और टेस्ट एग्जाम, ओके, फाइन, कभी वाइवास होते हैं, उसमें भी प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है, उससे पहले भी बहुत घबराहट महसूस होती है. और क्या होता है? फैमिली प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं, हाँ, जहाँ हम रहते हैं, हाँ, स्टेज फियर, परफॉर्मेंस एंजाइटी होती है, राइट, कि हमें कुछ परफॉर्म करना होता है, उस समय शुरू हो जाता है, मैं क्या करूँगा, कैसा परफॉर्म करूँगा, लोग क्या सोचेंगे मेरे बारे में, ओके, वहाँ पे क्या लगूँगा, ओके, व्हाट एल्स, any other situation? Interview. So when we have to present ourselves, in the interview for whatever situation. Okay, right. Anything else? Discussion. Okay, decision making. Yeah, sometimes we don't know the decisions. We think a lot. ये decision सही होगा, गलत होगा. उससे पहले बहुत overthinking जाती है कि क्या करें, किस रास्ते को चुनें. Okay, fine. So these are variety of situations. So फिर stress को कम करने के लिए क्या करते हैं? I hope you do something or the other thing to take care of your stressful situations. Okay, so talk with friends. Okay, so that's a very, very important, kind of self-help strategy. Okay, so हमारे दोस्त होने चाहिए. ऐसे दोस्त होने चाहिए जिन पे हम ट्रस्ट कर सकें और खुल के अपना को बाहर निकाल सकते हैं. Yes or no? Yes. Right? तो दोस्त ज़रूरी हैं. दोस्त बनाने चाहिए. ठीक है? दोस्त, असली दोस्त इसी समय में काम आते हैं जब हम अपनी मन की सारी भड़ास निकाल सकें. हाँ, अच्छा बुरा जो भी है. ठीक है? और जिससे भी हम स्ट्रेस फील कर रहे हैं. Okay. Anything else? Listening to music. Yes. So listening to music. So music also helps. Okay. Okay. Listening to Bhagavad Gita, that gives us strength. Okay. Meditation. Okay. Anything else? Mindfulness. Okay. आपको तो बहुत कुछ पता है. Very good. Mindfulness.
Playing some sports.
Very good. Playing some sports. We should have hobbies. It could be in the form of music. It could be in the form of sports. Very good. What else?
Writing your emotions down.
हैं? Okay, so internet surfing and whatever you want to do on internet. Okay, anything else?
Writing your emotions.
Morning walk. Okay, spending time outside.
Writing your emotions.
Writing your emotions down. Having a journal, diary writing. Very powerful tool. Okay, so your negative energies transferred to the book or copy, and just pen it down and let it go. If you can't talk to a friend, talk to a diary. Right? That's another very powerful tool. Okay, very good. So people write, their emotions. They express themselves. If you don't have anyone trustworthy, have personal diaries. Start writing. Okay, so that you can whatever you want to, feel down or whatever is going on here, just start penning it down. You're transferring from there to book. Okay, very, very good habit. Okay, journal writing, diary writing. Sometimes people end their day by by writing how the day was and everything. And that's a very big strategy. So all of this is self-care package. Okay, so whenever you feel stressed and the exams are coming up, so whatever suits you, the menu is told. That's the menu, the basket of options. Okay, whether it's walk, sports, talking to friend, music, Bhagavad Gita, some reading, writing, whatever.
Exercise, sir.
Exercise. So engage yourself in something. Okay, take a break and do all these things. Clear? Right? So this is what you need to do. Next.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
but all these are temporary solutions. Even if I have some negative thoughts in mind, I also do something or other. I listen to music or just do an assignment while listening to music. But these all are just temporary solutions. What should we do in long run?
Sure. Okay. We'll park this question and we'll revisit this question. This is a very important question that our friend has raised. कि ये सारी चीजें जो हैं ये टेम्परेरी हैं. ठीक है. तो अल्टीमेटली तो हमें अपने दिमाग को समझाना है कि हम ऐसा सोचे ना. तो वो हम कैसे करेंगे उसमें हम थोड़ा अभी पार्क करके आगे चलते हैं. ठीक है. I will kind of deal with that query, which is a very important query. That how do we do change in our thinking patterns. Okay, right. So mental health is a continuum. It's like a kind of a continuous thermometer kind of a reading. That it's the base is no distress, no stress, everything happy situation. Okay. Then the next, the upper bar is there is some stressful situation. So that stressful situation you can go down back to the normalcy, or you can go up in case that stress is not resolved and the chronic stress persists, and then that leads to development of mental health problems. And if that also not being tackled well, it can lead to a frank disorder. So disorder is actually a state when you require treatment. Okay, so it's a continuum from a normal well-being to the disorder. And we want that people should remain, in the bottom aspect, wherein everybody takes care of their mental health properly, and we don't develop disorders. What are the common mental health problems that you have heard of? Overthinking. Okay, overthinking is fine. Now I'm talking about, in general, the disorders or the common mental health disorders.
Height, fear.
Okay, again, so these are issues, right? So why people have fear. So phobias की आप बात कर रहे हो. कई लोगों को डर होता है जब वो बिल्डिंग के ऊपर पहुंच जाते हैं, हाइट पे जाते हैं. किसी को लिफ्ट से डर होता है, किसी को छिपकली से डर होता है. तो phobias, specific phobias, again phobias are very common. Okay, किसी को किसी चीज से डर लगता है, किसी को पानी में के पास जाने से डर लगता है कि हम डूब जाएंगे यहाँ पे अगर चले गए तो. Things like that. Okay, anything else?
Depression.
Yes. So one of the common mental health disorder is depression, and the other one is anxiety. Okay, and anxiety there are several of types, which include ये जो डर वाली बात की phobia, और एक obsessive compulsive disorder भी होता है जो OCD की ये बात कर रहे हैं. So that also comes under the anxiety pattern. So और एक anxiety को हम कहते हैं generalized anxiety disorder. उसमें क्या होता है कि इंसान को लगता है कि मेरे साथ ही कुछ गलत घटित होने वाला है. तो हमेशा हम उस पैटर्न में सोचते रहते हैं कि साइक्लोन आ रहा है तो मैं ही जाऊंगा इस साइक्लोन में. इट विल अफेक्ट मी ओनली, राइट? सो कहीं पे यूक्रेन में वॉर चल रहा है, मैं यहाँ बैठ के घबरा रहा हूँ कि कुछ मेरे साथ ही प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. सो दैट्स कॉल्ड एज जनरलाइज्ड एंजाइटी डिसऑर्डर, वेयरिन almost all the situations the person is anxious. Okay, so those are frank disorders. The two most common mental health problems is they are anxiety and depression. These can happen to anyone, and again they can be tackled because they are common mental health problems. They can be tackled easily through several of ways. It's not necessary that everyone will require a treatment, but yes, through self-care, through help, through psychologists or doctors, one can tackle these issues. And better it is that we take care of our mental health well-being so that we don't reach to that stage. Okay, right? And it's not कि ये suddenly disorder state में हम पहुंच जाते हैं. There's a lot of time gap that happens when we go from bottom to top. Okay, so हम अगर पहले ही इसको tackle कर लें तो हम ऊपर तक पहुंचेंगे. ठीक है, चलिए next. So there are few major components that influence our mental health. So resilience, you understand what is resilience? No. तो मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले ये बताया कि जब लाइफ में कभी कुछ खराब होता है, it could be anything खराब. हाँ, मान लीजिए फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस हो गया घर में, वो परिवार के लिए और परिवार के सदस्यों के लिए मेजर इवेंट है. अगर आप कर्जे में डूब गए, आपके पूरा परिवार, imagine there is a poor family and there is a major thing, उधार लेना पड़ा and सब लोग जो है उस उधार की वजह से अफेक्ट हो रहा है पूरा घर and one is not able to repay that loan. Everybody gets affected in the house. So that's a stressful situation. That how do we take care and how members again. So it could be financial crisis, it could be a health crisis. Suddenly एक घर में major event हो गया, health problem हो गई, किसी को cancer diagnose हो गया, surgery करानी पड़ी, सारा परिवार उसी में लगा हुआ है उस event को manage करने के लिए, right? बाकी सब stress में है कि हम इसको कैसे tackle करें, right? Loss of someone very close in the family. It could be a stressful situation. Everybody gets affected, right? Similarly, disasters like COVID-19, or it could be any personal issue, right? जब ये adversities होती हैं और जब हम इनसे bounce back करते हैं, इसको हम कहते हैं resilience, capacity to come out or to hit that back, so that we are again back to patri. That is resilience. So we all have to be resilient. We have to be strong. So that any situation that happens, we come back, we come out of it, we find solutions to it. How do we cope with that challenging situation? Okay. Self-esteem everybody knows, right? Okay, I am able to do this. Okay? I have self kind of capacity that yes, I will handle this well. मैं स्टेज पे जा रहा हूँ तो मैं स्टेज में अच्छा परफॉर्म करके आऊँगा. मैं इस विश्वास के साथ स्टेज पर चढ़ता हूँ. ठीक है, ये मैं कर लूँगा, इस एग्ज़ाम में मैं अच्छे नंबर ले लूँगा, मैं पास कर लूँगा, मुझे चिंता नहीं करने की ज़रूरत है, मैं अच्छे से पढ़ूँगा and I will do well. That's self-esteem. So I am able to do that. Emotional well-being, how do we handle our emotions? Spiritual well-being, जो आप yoga, meditation, mindfulness, the larger philosophy of life. That's why are we here? What are the reasons that we are existing? Right? So once we take care of our immediate needs, we think about larger needs. After achieving everything, we think also about spiritual. भाई हम हैं क्या, हमारा अस्तित्व क्या है, हम क्यों हैं यहाँ पे, क्या पर्पस है हमारा larger. We also start thinking about it, right? And then one of the very important factor that is very important for our mental health, जो आप लोगों ने बताया, दोस्त यार होने चाहिए. Social connectedness. How much connected are we to the society? जहाँ हम रहते हैं वहाँ पे हम कैसे कनेक्टेड हैं, जहाँ हम पढ़ने आ रहे हैं वहाँ पे हम कैसे कनेक्टेड हैं, अपने रिश्तेदारों से कैसे कनेक्टेड हैं. So social connectedness is very important, right? And in a college setting also, social connectedness is very important. Go to the next. Right. Now there are several of factors that can affect our mental health, and this is biopsycho, social model. There are biological factors. हम लोग सब genes के साथ पैदा हुए हैं, so we carry a lot of genetic backgrounds that we have, plus environments हमारे कई बार ऐसे stressful होते हैं that influence us. कई बार घर में ऐसी situations होती हैं, childhood trauma हो जाता है, बहुत सारे factors होते हैं जब हमारा development ठीक से नहीं होता है, हम बहुत adversities को face कर रहे होते हैं, continuously challenging situations होती हैं, हमारे family में बहुत conflicts हो रहे हैं, social relationships अगर disturbed हैं, all of this affect our mental health, right? So there are many factors that govern our mental well-being. Next. Okay. So I've already talked about this, the common disorders that are there. So one is anxiety. Anxiety in general means ghabrahat. Okay, fear. Okay, we are anxious, we have some fears, whatsoever those fears are. Okay, and if those fears disturb us, they disturb our performance, they come in way that we are not able to perform our roles, then it's a problem. Okay, ऐसे ही depression होता है. What is depression? What is depression? Any idea? Anxiety is घबराहट, fear. What is depression? low mood. Okay, tanav is stress. Okay, so low mood when you always, when one feels very low all the times, very sad, hopelessness, helplessness, you're not able to concentrate, right? And you become very isolated. Okay, आपका किसी चीज में मन नहीं लगता है, राइट? कुछ खाने का मन नहीं करता है, पीने का मन नहीं करता है, बात करने का मन नहीं करता है, नींद आने में दिक्कत होती है. यू वांट टू बी जस्ट अवे फ्रॉम एवरीथिंग. मुझे अकेला छोड़ दो बस, राइट? नाउ एक दिन तो चलता है अकेला छोड़ दो, एक दो दिन ठीक है. समटाइम्स यू वांट टू बी अवे फ्रॉम अदर थिंग, मुझे अकेले रहने, एक दो दिन ठीक है. बट जब ये ज़्यादा दिन प्रॉब्लम होती है कि आपको भूख नहीं लग रही, आपको नींद नहीं आ रही, आपका मन नहीं कर रहा बात करने का, आप दूसरों से अलग हैं, देन इट कुड बी अ प्रॉब्लम, राइट? सो मेंटल हेल्थ डिसऑर्डर्स हमेशा याद रखिए, हम सभी को कुछ ना किसी दिन वी फील लो, वी फील इलेटेड. हाँ, तो वो कभी कभी चलता है, कभी नींद भी नहीं आती, ये भी चलता है. कभी बहुत बात करने का मन करता है, ये भी चलता है. कभी बहुत डर लगता है, ये भी चलता है. बट वो क्रॉनिक प्रॉब्लम नहीं होनी चाहिए, वो लंबे समय के लिए, लंबी अवधि में नहीं होनी चाहिए. एज लॉन्ग एज इट्स फाइन, आई मीन फॉर 1 or 2 days इज फाइन. एज इफ एक हफ्ते से ज़्यादा हो जाए, 2 हफ्ते से ज़्यादा हो जाए, यही परसिस्ट किए जा रहा है, then it requires evaluation. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next. And then the another very common problem entity in young people is use of substances. Smoking, alcohol, and then hardcore drugs, जो नशे की problem होती है. That's another very common youth related issue and it affects mental health. Okay? So ये भी देखा गया है कि कुछ लोग अगर mentally strong नहीं होते हैं तो अपने स्ट्रेसर्स को हल्का करने के लिए नशे में डूबते हैं. तो ये होता है नेगेटिव कोपिज्म. आप उस स्ट्रेस को भूल जाने के लिए, कम करने के लिए आप गलत रास्ता ले रहे हो, राइट? सो दिस इज नेगेटिव कोपिंग एबिलिटी. वी हैव टू कोप अप, राइट? अगर कोई स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन है तो हमें कोप करना है कि उसको डील कैसे करें. तो नशे में पड़ना गलत रास्ता है, ठीक है? So substance use is not a good thing, and mental health and substance use, जो लोग नशा करते हैं उनकी mental health खराब होती है, और ये भी देखा गया है जिनकी mental health खराब होती है वो नशे की तरफ भागते हैं. बट दोनों ही जो है एक दूसरे से vicious cycle है, and it actually makes you more bad and worse. It will not lead to come back in a happy state, right? So उसकी तरफ नहीं जाना है, right? And the other thing is, in our country, in our culture, substance use is not a norm. ठीक है? इमेजिन करो अगर हम एक हॉल में बैठे हैं और सभी वहाँ स्मोकर्स हों, या सभी अल्कोहल लेते हों. Is it a good situation?
No, sir.
No, it's not a good situation. So our culture is not that, and it is not a norm. Is that okay? Right. Next. I don't have to show this slide. I think it's not required. Next. Okay, so impact of mental disorders is on academics, is on social isolation and substance use. So mental disorders से फर्क क्या पड़ता है? We get distracted often. हमारी memory ठीक नहीं होती, concentrate हम ठीक नहीं कर पाते हैं, हम लोग motivated नहीं feel करते हैं किसी काम को करने के लिए. It will affect our academic performance. It affects our social life, so our friendships, our social skills, our social activities, everything get affected. And I have already talked about, the substance use issues. Next. Okay, right. अब symptoms क्या होते हैं? Mental health problems के general symptoms क्या होते हैं? तो it affects, our thinking patterns. अब हम कैसा सोचते हैं, और किसी ने ये पूछा था, कि हम constantly अगर ऐसे ही सोचते जा रहे हैं तो हम उसका क्या करें? So उस सोच को हमें थोड़ा सा चेंज करना पड़ता है. So thinking abilities, it will affect our concentration, it will affect our memory, it will affect our judgment, and also sometimes we believe that are false beliefs. Psychological effect होता है, हमारा मूड अच्छा नहीं रहता है, we are not interested in common activities. There may be excess of fear, and it affects our physical health also. How? हम लोगों को जो भी mentally strong नहीं होते हैं या जो भी mental disorders से ग्रसित होते हैं, so they will complain a lot of pains, aches in the body, their sleep get affected, उनको भूख नहीं लगती है, they feel very low, less energetic, weak. It also affects their behavior. They may get irritated very easily. Little sparks also boom of irritation, aggression. They get excited. They react a lot. Okay, they get agitated. लड़ने मारने को शुरू हो जाते हैं अगर थोड़ा सा ही trigger हो उनपे, right? So they start speaking. Sometimes the other kind of spectrum, is that they are isolated. They may also, do self-harm. Again, all of this is a problem spectrum, and a very, very severe mental health problem is when people live in illusions, delusions, and hallucinations. और इसका मतलब ये होता है कि वो एक ऐसी दुनिया में होते हैं जो कि एक बाहरी दुनिया होती है, जो एक रियल वर्ल्ड नहीं है. उनको कुछ सुनाई दे रहा है, उनको कुछ दिखाई दे रहा है, उनको कानों में आवाजें आ रही हैं. So they are in a different world. Right? So when this happens, that they perceive something, they hear something, they see something which is not in reality. Okay, that is a very severe state of problem, and that requires definitely treatment. Okay, next. I have already expressed कि ये जो mental health problems हैं, symptoms हैं, हम सब different emotions को feel करते हैं, हम different चीज़ों को feel करते हैं, but अगर ये several days हो जाए, it is problem. Next. अब आपके survey की बारी आती है. Now we will share the results. We did a survey. I think Aman was coming for this survey. We'll just share some of the findings of the survey. Aman, you would like to take that? Okay.
So how many of you here had filled the survey?
Okay, there are many.
Okay, so we had like around 200 so responses in both the questionnaires. So this was one of the questions we had asked. This was a question for identification of mental disorder. So Aziza is a 20-year-old who experiences excessive worry and nervousness or panics in everyday situation, has physical symptoms such as tense muscles, feels fatigued easily, and in your opinion, which of the following option best describes what Aziza is experiencing? So the options were, Aziza may be experiencing anxiety, Aziza may be experiencing depression, this is normal, there's nothing wrong with her, or Aziza may be experiencing something called a severe mental disorder, schizophrenia. So 52% of students correctly identified. Which one do you think is the correct answer? Sorry?
Anxiety.
Yes. So we had the correct answer and 52% identified it correctly. So this was the other question for identification. Mohan is an 18-year-old who experiences low mood for several weeks, has lost the need to seek pleasure or interest in everyday activities, has not been eating and been sleeping a lot. So again the same options. Mohan may have anxiety, Mohan may have depression. This is an everyday, occurrence, nothing's wrong. Or Mohan may have a severe mental disorder. Which one do you think is correct?
Depression.
Right, now all of you know it. So 57 earlier had identified, but now I think majority of you know it. So this was the final question for identification. Raj is a 19-year-old who lives at home with his parents. He has been attending college irregularly over the past year and now has completely stopped. Past 6 months, he stopped seeing his friend, isolating himself, not eating. His parents hear him walking around in the room and they think he's alone, but he's heard shouting and arguing with someone. And when they try to encourage him to do more things, he whispers he won't leave home because he's being spied. So the parents know that he's not taking any drugs and not seeing anyone. So which one do you think Raj may be experiencing? The options are same. Is it anxiety? Is it depression? Is it normal occurrence, or is this a severe mental disorder, schizophrenia? Right, schizophrenia. So, 45% identified it correctly. This is, as we sir had mentioned previously, these are when you start imagining things which are not present. So Raj has those symptoms, and this is a case of schizophrenia. Over to you, sir.
Okay, so I think those were the scenarios, and almost I think 150 odd students, filled that survey from Hansraj. So, and those were the responses. So I think the message is that all of these problems have some therapy, some treatment, and it works. But still, people, don't take treatment for this, right? And that's the sad part of the story. So if someone is having or experiencing a problem, I think there is help that can be offered, and we need to realize, and that's why awareness is very critical, that we are aware that I or someone close by maybe experiencing a stressful situation. Okay, next. So the problem is there is a lot of stigma. हम जब मेंटल हेल्थ की बात करते हैं तो हम ये जो पहली चीज कई लोग जो बोलते हैं कि ये तो पागल जैसा बिहेव कर रहा है, तो पागल हो गया, पगला गया, right? That's a very common way we express it, right? And that actually makes it more problematic because we equate that to pagalpan. Okay, so there is a lot of stigma. Okay, and stigma comes from the society और पढ़े लिखे घरों में stigma है. हम झाड़ फूक कराने जाते हैं, हम बाबा के चक्कर काटते हैं, मंदिरों में जाते हैं, गुरुद्वारे में जाते हैं. We keep on doing all this, our faith healing. Okay, but we don't recognize that it requires some proper professional help. Right? So there is professional help. If one, and it is okay to take help. Okay, there are many actors, heroes, heroines. Now they talk very openly. Neko depression hua. Can you name some? Deepika Padukone. And share their stories and lived experience. Amir Khan ki daughter. What is the name of Amir Khan's daughter? Right? Yeah, that's a good one. Ira Khan? Huh? Ira Khan? Have you heard of Ira Khan? So they now talk openly about this. Many of our, players, sports players, they share their experience. Yes. So there are many people now, who are advocates. They speak. So there are lived experiences, and वो हम जैसे ही हैं लोग, right? जिनको ये problem होती है. So we don't have to feel shy or have to feel reserved कि मेरे साथ कुछ पागलपन की अवस्था में हूँ. That's nothing. One can take help. Just like we take help for fever, we take help for any illness, and आजकल chronic बीमारियां भी बहुत ज़्यादा हैं. Diabetes है, blood pressure है, इतनी सारी बीमारियां हैं जिनका इलाज चलता है और लोग ठीक रहते हैं. Right? उसी तरीके से mental health issues भी अगर किसी को होते हैं तो one can take help and one can take treatment. It's not necessary कि उनको दवाइयाँ ही लेनी पड़ेंगी. हो सकता है talk therapy also helps. So there are therapeutic interventions, there are other modalities that also happen. और जैसे one of our friends was asking कि भाई ये बार-बार ये तो temporary solutions हैं, असली में क्या किया जाना चाहिए. So we have to either solve the problem that is disturbing us, or we have to change our thinking patterns. कि हम उस problem को perceive कैसे कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो हम उसको solve करने की ability को ठीक करना चाहते हैं, and that happens through professional help. We take multiple sessions, we understand the person, we try to solve the issue, we try to help the person, how the person can think differently. So that हो सकता है जिस तरह से एक बंदा perceive करके उसको सोचना है, उस pattern को हम बदलने की कोशिश करते हैं. ठीक है? Right. Okay. Next. So there's another question. I'm going to tell that question now. There are, I think, another some set of questions.
Okay, so this question was, I think a person with mental health problems are responsible for their own problems because of their overthinking. So now these were the responses. Which one do you think is correct? So there's agree. So you agree that a person with mental health problems are responsible for their own problems. How many agree? Raise your hands. I'll repeat it. ये जो question है, I think a person with mental health problems are responsible for their own problems because ये overthinking की वजह से आई है. How many of you agree to this? Okay. How many of you disagree to this? Yeah. How many still neither agree nor disagree? So this is to assess stigma. So mental health problems do not occur because of our own overthinking. So actually the answer is disagree.
Okay, next.
Okay, so if someone talks about their own mental health problem with his or her friends, their relationship will be affected. If we share about our problems, our relationship will be affected. So how many of you disagree? So 48% disagreed, and like sir said, it is okay to talk. People who are addicted to substances are never willing to quit. How many of you agree to this? That someone with who is addicted cannot be helped. They're not willing to quit. But they can be helped. So the option is disagree. Okay, so someone who's addicted to substance is solely responsible for his or her addiction. So how many of you agree to this? So I think stigma questions, as you can see, it's equally divided in all the options.
Okay, so it's important, to take help, and agar any person who is there known to and who is there in our circle, whether family or friends, and if you witness that that person is having a difficult time and not able to cope up, it's okay to talk. It's okay to take help. Okay, so there is help that can be offered. Okay, next. Okay, so then I think the next question, which was I think a part of the survey, was that which is the best person to treat someone with a severe mental disorder. So you want to ask something? No? So I think the answer to this question should be, so if a person is severe mental health disorder, you remember severe mental disorder? No? When I said, the person is not in the real world, he starts experiencing some artificial thing. मुझे कुछ दिख रहा है, मुझे कुछ सुनाई दे रहा है, जो बाकियों को नहीं दिख रहा, बाकियों को नहीं सुनाई दे रहा. So when you live in delusion, ये बंदा मेरी लाइफ के पीछे पड़ा हुआ है और ये मुझे मार के रहेगा. Well, we often think sometimes, about our enemies, but that's okay. But if there is a persistent threat by someone, और आप जो है constantly उस feeling से बाहर नहीं निकल के आ पा रहे हैं, right? And others are not witnessing that same threat that one individual is feeling that, right? So these are the states of delusions, illusions, hallucinations. Okay, so these are actually frank symptoms of severe problem, and a severe problem should be treated. Okay, it's not a common problem. ये कम होती है, ये ऐसा नहीं है बहुत लोगों को होती है, ये बहुत कम लोगों को होती है, right? So this is the extreme problem. ये common problem नहीं है. Common problem anxiety लोगों को, these are common problems. Is that clear? So ये हम खुद नहीं manage कर पाएंगे, इसके लिए psychiatrist is important. Professional help is important, right? Okay, next. Now there are hospitals, and they have psychiatry wings. So there are psychiatrists and psychologists. Psychologists are also there elsewhere. Even I think counselors can be approached in case there is a problem. And I do believe that colleges do have counselors, so they can be approached for their things. There are several of hospitals. All of you know the common hospitals that exist in Delhi. Next, there are helplines. So Ministry of Education actually, has this Manodarpan helpline. There's a call number, and they receive many calls, especially from students during the time of exams. So if someone wants to talk totally to an unknown person, जहाँ आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है बेझिझक बात करें तो फोन पे भी बात हो सकती है, right? So there are helplines available. There's a helpline number. One can get connected from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Right? So there are counselors sitting there, and you may not be worried about your identities, and you can just talk freely about your concerns. Okay? So they can provide psychosocial support. Next. ऐसे ही एक नेशनल मेंटल हेल्थ प्रोग्राम चलता है हमारे देश में जिसमें टेलीमानस करके हेल्पलाइन है. सो दैट इज अनदर पोर्टल दैट इज अवेलेबल. So you can click all these numbers and we can provide these numbers to you, and if whosoever wants to access it, even if the family members have to be guided and you want to have teleconsultation, so these are all avenues for teleconsultation. You don't have to go anywhere, just have to call. There are counselors at the back end on the telephones, and they can actually guide and help you how to take care of that situation or the problem that one is facing. Next. Okay, so next, I think just one or two more slides and then we'll finish, is because it's an exam time and you are going to be in a, you have to devote a lot of hours to your studies also, right? So you have to concentrate and you have to get out of this situation, face exam nicely. So how to feel, or focus on your studies. So Aman, you would like to explain this technique so that they can concentrate and manage their time. Yeah.
Okay, so first is recognize when you're stressed, right? Sometimes we'll be stressed more than usual, like about now exam time. So there is a time management technique which is called Pomodoro technique. So what you have to do is you identify a very small task. Maybe you want to finish one chapter. So a lot of students ask me that, oh, there's too much to cover, we can't cover this, I'm getting stressed. When you think of like itna sara syllabus cover karna hai, it's difficult to sit down and concentrate. So in this you select a specific task that, okay, I have maybe one chapter to finish. So what you do is you set a timer on your phones and your laptops, and for that timer, one of the important things is there's a Pomodoro on your laptops as well. What it does is it blocks all the other messages for that time. So it sort of does the setting in a manner कि आपके जो Google alerts or all those will not come, so you won't be distracted. So 25 minutes, if you can put it on your phone, put away all your distractions and focus on that task. After those 25 minutes, you have fully concentrated. It's important to not have any distractions, interruptions. Put your phones on silent. Put away those social media, and then you can take a break. So here it says avoid multitasking. So focus one chapter, 25 minutes or how much ever time you think. Maybe you want to break the chapter smaller as well. Maybe you want to cover 2 topics in that chapter in 25 minutes, and then you take a 5-minute break to relax. In that relaxation, choose, as like we had already laid out different methods in the beginning that you can use to relax. Some might want to, just go for a walk. Some might want to take a eating break. 5-10 minutes to relax, and then you repeat the Pomodoro again. So this way, 25 minutes, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes, 5 minutes break. After 1 to 2 hours, you can take a longer break. So this technique works if you put away distractions and just focus on it. So then another is, like we mentioned about coping, there are unhealthy coping which are, like sir said, we indulge in unhealthy coping sometimes, like smoking or drinking, that will release our stress. There are healthy coping mechanisms, like you might want to do some exercise, you might want to write it down, whatever is bugging you, journal it. So develop healthy coping mechanisms. and avoid unhealthy coping. And then prioritize self-care. Many times we think कि अगर हम self-care में time लगाएंगे, we will not, that period of time we could study. But what happens is, we don't end up, we're like so nervous, so stressed, and we're like overthinking. So वो study time भी नहीं हो पाता. So in your whole day, you can prioritize some period for your self-care, some period, most of the period for your studying, but do prioritize some self-care mechanisms. Sleep is an important one. Please take proper sleep. If you don't sleep properly, you won't be able to study, properly with concentration. We tend to drink a lot of energy drinks and reduce our sleep, thinking, we'll cover more, but our concentration reduces, our memory reduces, so it doesn't help. Embrace positive self-talk. When we started this session, you guys started with positive affirmations. It's important. Tell yourself you'll be able to do it, and seek support from professors or peers. In case you're getting stuck somewhere, make groups, study groups. Take support from professors wherever you're getting stuck, or your friends. Call a helpline, seek professional help. Call the helpline if you're getting worried or overwhelmed too much, and talk to them. So best of luck for your exams.
So one or two more things to add there. One, I think the message important there is take breaks. Okay, so focus on, whatever half an hour you are concentrating, focusing. Get up, take a break, small breaks. Continue your, hobbies, whatever, on a smaller scale, so that you spend time on things that make you feel better, right? And whatever that personal, wish list is, कि जो भी जैसे भी हमें feel good होता है, वो हमें करना चाहिए. अच्छा, एक चीज़ बताइए कि जब हम stressful situation में होते हैं, तो normally what gets affected? हम कैसे realize करते हैं that I'm feeling stressed? What happens? What are the signals in the body that you feel कि गलत हो रहा है? I'm in a stress situation. Okay, one is mood swings, और क्या होता है?
So there is an inbuilt sensation in the body, like body starts trembling.
Yes, so there is some sensation that that tells you. How is your breathing usually when you feel little nervous, shaky?
Breathing increases and we feel suffocated.
Yes, so one feels suffocated, breathing gets fast. So one of the things which needs to be done in a stressful situation or when you don't feel comfortable is regulate your breathing. Okay, breathe is very important. The breath and the way we take breaths is very important. So what is said is regulate your breathing. Take deep breath. Inspiration and expiration in a slow paced fashion. If we start inspiring and expiring deeply, it calms us. Okay? There is an app, Breathe to Relax. Okay? There is an app, Breathe to Relax. Okay? Which teaches you deep breathing. Okay? It helps you. Okay? If one constantly indulges in these breathing, regulated breathing, self-breathing, one actually feels a little calm. Okay? And you feel a little less suffocated. If you are able to regulate that, that time will pass. Okay? So the best thing is take deep breaths in and out. Is that clear?
Yes.
Right? So whenever you are feeling a little, uncomfortable, even before exam, okay, start breathing wherever you are. Okay, that will regulate your mind, and it will ease you a little, down, and it will let the movement pass by. Right? The another important thing is remain grounded. जब कोई स्टॉर्म आता है तो हमें हवा के साथ ऊपर नहीं उड़ना है, हमें नीचे आना है, ठीक है, हमें स्टॉर्म से नीचे आना है. तो ट्राई टू बी फर्म ऑन ग्राउंड and be in that situation. See what you are witnessing. Try to feel something, okay, and try to smell something. Look around, what's happening around you, okay. And I think we did talk about self-care. Yes, self-care techniques तो हमने शुरू में ही बात कर ली, आप लोगों ने ही सारे तरीके बताए थे. Yes or no? Hobbies, Bhagavad Gita, exercise, gym, whatever. Right? So all that needs to be done. And there are helplines if one wants to take help. Okay? So help is away just by a call. There are numbers available. Right? So I'm sure you will be passing the exams with good grades. So all the best.
The phrase used by sir, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे and लोगों का काम है कहना, will surely be one new motto for life. Thank you, sir. Your explanation of mental health, emotions, different phases of it, and types of disorders, also mental distress, did add a lot to our knowledge. I am sure all this new information might have raised many questions in your mind. I would request everyone present here to raise their hands and introduce themselves with questions. And please remember, this is a safe place and you will not be judged for your queries.
मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि हम बहुत सारी किताबें पढ़ते हैं या बहुत सारी हम चीज़ें देखते हैं, समझते हैं, बट हम उसको इम्प्लीमेंट क्यों नहीं कर पाते हैं, समझते हुए जानते हैं. तो एक प्रकार का ये भी तो हमारा
ये बड़ा ब्रॉड क्वेश्चन है कि हम बहुत कुछ पढ़ते हैं और इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं कर पाते, तो इसमें थोड़ा समझना पड़ेगा कि आप किस बारे में आप पूछना चाह रहे हैं. सो अल्टीमेटली इट डिपेंड्स ऑन यू.
मान लीजिए गोल है किसी चीज़ का, जैसे स्टडी मान लीजिए गोल है कि इतना टर्म मुझे कंप्लीट करना है, बट वो हो नहीं पाता है, तो इस सकते हम उसको कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करें.
सो एक टेक्निक होती है कि अगर मान लीजिए पढ़ाई करनी है तो आप एक तो प्लान करें कि आपको कितनी पढ़ाई करनी है और फिर उस प्लान को अमल करने की कोशिश करें, राइट. और जब भी डिस्ट्रैक्शंस आती हैं, अगेन रिव्यू योर प्रोग्रेस, कम बैक, राइट. जो टिप्स बताई गई कंसंट्रेशन की कि हम डिस्ट्रैक्शंस को दूर रखें, राइट. और जिन भी चीज़ों से हम डिस्ट्रैक्ट होते हैं, आजकल फोन्स आर द बिगेस्ट डिस्ट्रैक्टर्स, इंटरनेट इज द बिगेस्ट डिस्ट्रैक्टर, राइट. सो वी जस्ट ट्राई टू कट ऑफ, जब भी कुछ जहाँ अगर फोकस करना है तो अपने आप को अलग से कंसंट्रेट ऑन योर स्टडीज. प्लान करो कि कितना टाइम लगेगा पूरा सिलेबस कवर करने के लिए, कितने घंटे आपके पास हैं, कितना रिवीजन के लिए टाइम चाहिए. इफ यू विल प्लान वेल देन यू हैव टू एग्जीक्यूट द प्लान. बीच बीच में रिव्यू करो प्रोग्रेस को. अगर प्लान को इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो अब आपके कुछ पर्सनल फैक्टर्स हो सकते हैं. इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू से इन अ जेनरिक वे व्हाट वर द बैरियर्स दैट यू कुड नॉट अचीव इट. बट देन as self care was being talked about, review those strategies, take breaks. सिर्फ सोचना नहीं है, और अगर लगता है कि मैं बस सोच रहा हूँ, कुछ कर नहीं पा रहा हूँ, better is to go and walk outside, run outside, go and have a fresh air, right, and then feel more energetic. अगर music gives you energy, listen to music, and then say okay 5 minutes break or half an hour break after 3 hours. Take those breaks. And अपने schedules को please एकदम से haywire मत करिएगा एग्जाम में. We see people don't sleep at all, right? So once we don't sleep and we kind of deviate from our normal schedules, it becomes difficult. The body takes time to get adjusted to it. हो सकता है आप एग्जाम में ठीक परफॉर्म नहीं कर पाए because of these altered schedules. आपको उस समय एग्जाम में अच्छे नंबर लेना बहुत ही कारणों से लिया जाता है. सब मेहनत करते हैं बराबर, लेकिन कुछ बहुत अच्छे स्कोर करते हैं और कुछ नहीं स्कोर कर पाते. तो उसमें कुछ टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स भी हैं, राइट. तो उन टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स की तरफ भी ध्यान दीजिए, ठीक है. चलिए, यस गो अहेड.
जैसे हम एक फैमिली इशू या रिलेशनशिप इशू हो जाए तो उस तरह हम अपने आप को कैसे प्रिपेयर करें. मान लीजिए कॉलेज लाइफ है, एक रिलेशनशिप इशू तो इसको कैसे
Yes. So, I mean, बैठिए, बहुत अच्छी बात आपने पूछी. So, these are common issues, right? In this age group, these are common concerns. One of the slides we saw, कि भाई करियर के बारे में हम सोचते हैं, पढ़ाई के बारे में सोचते हैं, हम रिलेशनशिप्स के बारे में सोचते हैं, हम परिवार के बारे में सोचते हैं. ये common concerns हैं हमारे. तो relationship issues, one can face and one can have problems. One can have a happy situation also. But what is important is that in relationships we need to have very clear expectations. What are we expecting in that relation? And if we have those clarities in mind, तो बाद में धक्के भी कम लगेंगे, right? So one needs to, I mean, this can be one-to-one talk also, because this could be very personal issue also that one faces, and not everything can be generalized. But what can be said is that practice the other things that relates to good mental health, right? So if you are strong in general, you will be resilient and you will be able to face those shocks also. Is that okay? Right? So relationships, matters happen. चीजें कई बार हमारी एक्सपेक्टेशन के अनुसार नहीं हो पाती हैं, but that's okay. And the other thing that one must remember is that in this age group, nothing is permanent. Life is also not permanent overall. So आज एक दिन अच्छा है, अगर एक दिन बुरा है तो उसके बाद अच्छा भी आएगा. So अगर see memory का जो connect था, मेंटल हेल्थ में बहुत सारे सिम्टम्स होते हैं, सिर्फ एक मेमोरी ही नहीं होगा, राइट? सो हमें ये देखना पड़ेगा एक होलिस्टिक पिक्चर कि हम बाकी स्फीयर्स में कैसे परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं. अगर कोई व्यक्ति मेंटली इल है या मेंटल इलनेस की तरफ जा रहा है तो उसके सारे स्फीयर्स अफेक्ट होते हैं, ठीक है? वो एक ही स्फीयर में अफेक्टेड नहीं रहेगा, उसके रिलेशनशिप्स भी अफेक्ट होते हैं, उसके परिवार के संबंध भी अफेक्ट होते हैं, उसके पढ़ाई का भी स्फीयर अफेक्ट होता है, तो प्रोडक्टिविटी, हाँ, एग्जाम में परफॉर्मेंस भी अफेक्ट होती है. तो एक ही स्फीयर नहीं है, सारे स्फीयर्स में मिला जुला के वी हैव टू थिंक होलिस्टिकली. तो भाई जो दिमाग है वो हमारा बहुत तेज होता है, तो इसीलिए उसमें विचार भी बहुत सारे उत्पन्न होते हैं, राइट? सो वी थिंक सो मच, राइट? which is okay, right? Now those thoughts should not affect you. That's the bottom line, right? तो thoughts को आने दें, ठीक है? ज़्यादा सोचे ना, और अगर वैरायटी ऑफ विचार आ रहे हैं तो उनको अगर आप लिख सकते हैं, व्यक्त कर सकते हैं किसी के साथ तो करें. और एक टेक्निक होती है प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग टेक्निक, जो I mean the question that one asked in the beginning when I said we'll park it. That's called as problem solving technique. Suppose there are some persistent thoughts that are coming to you and they are disturbing you. Okay? So now you need to give more attention to those thoughts. और आप ये फोकस करिए वो कैसे थॉट्स हैं जो आपको डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं और वो कब आते हैं. कुछ लोगों को सुबह उठते ही आ जाते हैं वो थॉट्स. तो मान लो अगर ऐसे थॉट सुबह उठते आ जाते हैं तो उस समय आप कुछ और करना शुरू करिए. तो जब आपको सुबह वो थॉट आया तो आप बाहर चले जाइए, आप अपने आप को कहीं और बिजी कर लें. दैट्स नंबर 1 स्ट्रैटेजी, ओके, टू चेंज योर थिंकिंग पैटर्न. सो अगर आप मन कहीं और लगाएंगे तो वो वाला जो थॉट है वो नहीं आएगा. सेकेंड, व्हेन प्रॉब्लम्स आर देयर, think about what solutions you can have. So you have to work on the solutions. तो अगर आप पढ़ नहीं पा रहे तो क्या सल्यूशन है कि आप पढ़ पाएंगे? आप अगर ग्रुप बनाएंगे, उनके साथ बैठ के पढ़ लेंगे इफेक्टिवली तो वो एक सल्यूशन ट्राई कर सकते हैं, राइट? आपका म्यूजिक सुनने से मूड ठीक होता है तो म्यूजिक सुन लीजिए. तो आपको ये फोकस करना है कि आप उस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कैसे करेंगे. उन 2-3 सल्यूशन से एक ट्राई करना शुरू कर दीजिए, सल्यूशन क्या है, और देखिए कि कुछ फर्क पड़ता है. अगर नहीं फर्क पड़ता है तो दूसरा सल्यूशन ट्राई करिए. यू हैव टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम एंड यू आर द बेस्ट जज हाउ टू सॉल्व दैट प्रॉब्लम. सो ट्राई सॉल्विंग इट, ओके, एंड दैट्स हाउ यू हैव टू अप्रोच इट. ठीक है? एंड ओके, थैंक यू.
behalf of the Udaan Society and Hansraj College, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Sumit Malhotra sir, Dr. Sumit Malhotra sir, for his brainstorming session. That is very useful, and I am sure that it will help you to understand the problems, to tackle the situations before the exam, like anxiety, depression, feelings, emotions. So that will be very helpful, and that is really a brainstorming session. And I would like to thank our energetic and dynamic principal, Professor Rama ma'am, for his encourage, motivations, and always support us in the every situation. And that will she always help us to organize this type of program like that. I would also like to thank our colleague Piyush sir, Manoj sir, and the convener of the Udaan Society, Palak, and her team, especially the Arpit, Kesav, Sivanshi, Sandhya, and in the end of the session, I would also like to thank our dear students, especially. So thank you everyone. Thank you so much.